come once again to discuss things.
The Black Panther is ready for you!
Wore out. Anyway, you ready to go ahead and get started?
Yes, I.
Alright. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am Sid Partu. Joining me today is the one, the only, the modern life of Rasco.
Yay!
Yay! How's it going today, Rasco?
Pretty good.
That's pretty good to hear. What are we talking about today, Rasco?
We're talking about The Black Panther Unleashed, Storms of Carnage. Awesome fan film.
Yeah, I love that they put that in the title. I'm so amazed you actually remembered the title for something. So, the reason I picked this is I've just been in a Black Panther mood the last couple months, or weeks, whatever. We did a character analysis on him, and by the time this is posted, that'll have been posted last week, maybe? And, you know, man, I'm in a Black Panther kind of mood. So I figured we'd talk about a Black Panther fan film, and luckily we found one that I think is, all things considered, pretty good. What'd you think of it, Rasco?
I thought that this fan film was like crazy ambitious with some of the things that it tried to do, and it like did them in a satisfying enough way for me to go like, wow, gotta give some props.
Okay, how do you feel that it was ambitious?
So this fan film did something that like it's really it's both exactly like what you should do in a fan film and what you probably shouldn't do at the same time. Like it'd be bad advice to instruct people to try and achieve what this fan film achieves, which is really cool, creative, sometimes like in-camera editing tricks, sometimes it's like post stuff that they're doing, but like really cool, like violent fighting is just like really ambitious.
Mm-hmm. And this came out of a fighting studio, I believe, or like a fighting choreography studio. Like I watched some of the behind the scenes stuff, and like these guys are apparently like a stunt studio or something like that. And it looks amazing with the fight choreography. Some of the effects of like some of the more violent side of the fights are a little iffy. I think the one that's the most obvious is where he breaks the guy's arms, but like overall, there's some pretty kick-ass fight scenes and effects shit for just how damn brutal this was.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what do you generally think of the fan film then? Like, as far as overall quality beyond being ambitious and succeeding?
I thought that most of it was just like serviceable to good enough, besides the stuff that I think they really cared about the most, which was specifically the fighting. The stuff around that I thought was just fine. Okay.
I would tend to agree. You know, it was a believable enough scenario. The acting wasn't distracting or anything. I felt like everyone worked hard and was believable in the roles. I think my biggest problem with this is probably the dialogue. And I'm not sure if that's just the dialogue itself or the fact that I think the audio is pretty bad. I had a hard time understanding everything that was being said. How about you?
I somewhat agree. My biggest problem was with some of the dialogue that like getting us to this situation felt a little bit, I don't even know, like I want to say like half-baked almost. It kind of feels like we wanted to have like a really cool like Black Panther fight scene, and we knew like generally speaking what kind of scene we wanted it to be. We wanted it to be one of those like one of the captors is the Black Panther type of scenes, kind of like the beginning of Dark Knight Rises almost. Mm-hmm. We're doing that, but I didn't really buy some of the dialogue that got us to the point where we kind of do like the Black Panther reveal. So like I don't buy that. Like, I understand like the reason that they give. I just don't believe it when they're like, we need you to kill these guys so we know that you guys aren't just a bunch of chumps trying to mess with us or something. Like, I just don't necessarily believe that.
See, that doesn't bother me, because that is something that criminals do, just generally speaking, to try to, like, weed out undercover police officers and stuff like that. That is a legit tactic that some gangs and stuff use, is a lot of gangs, like, will, in order to enter the gang, they, like, you have to take a beating. Some gangs, in order to enter the gang, you have to kill someone. And this is kind of a similar thing, where it's like, in order to do this business, you have to prove that you're not, like, working for someone else, or that you're serious about it, and so I want you to kill this guy for me. That isn't too unbelievable for me. That is something I know happens in the real world. So that I did buy. For me, the dialogue was like T'Challa has these proverbs that he gives before he starts fighting everybody. Some to the effect of the moth and the butterfly both have wings, but I can't even remember what it is. But just like, I thought about that one for a minute. I'm like, what does that even mean in this context?
Yeah.
Like, it just seems so random. Like, it sounded like the inside of a fortune cookie. It didn't feel like it was really applicable to the situation. Let me pull up the fan film and see if I can get exactly what it is. Because that one's going to kind of bother me if I can't remember. How do I turn on closed captions? Come on. Okay. The moth and the butterfly both have wings, but only one is Lord of the Night. And it's funny, because, like, the next line is, what the hell does that mean? And I'm like, yeah, what the hell does that mean? Sure, only the moth can fly at night. Okay. And? I don't understand what that's supposed to mean. Like, it feels like it's supposed to sound all wise and clever, but there doesn't seem to be anything that relates that directly to the situation that's going on.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that would bother me so much if just the sound quality were crisper. I had to go back and rewatch this a second time with closed captions on, because just the sound quality and the sound mixing was really bad. I had a hard time understanding what people were saying in a lot of it.
That's fair. One thing, though, I will say that I did like about this, it's cast. All its actors, they don't look like kids. They all look very, like, appropriately aged.
Definitely. Yeah.
I really liked that. Everybody really looked like they were an actual adult that would be in this situation.
Yeah, I agree completely. I thought that, like, it's so rare to have that with fan films, where you have, like, actors that actually fit the age of the thing.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I do agree. I thought that they all, like, not only looked the part, but sold their part well. Like, they made a smart move to decide who was going to talk when, you know? Like, there are guys there that are just, like, random henchmen to die, but they don't have lines.
Yeah.
So, like, there are only 4 characters that talk, not including T'Challa. And so, when you watch this, it works that they are the ones that are talking, and it's believable. Oh, and there's also the guy that's under the hood. All of that they just are believable in the parts, and yeah, I agree with that. what do you think of the integration of the CG elements?
So that was the thing where I think that because of this project, I think they worked, because to me it was like a matter of, I didn't even think you could get anything close to that good looking on screen, like looking at like the budget that they have to work with here.
Yeah, $50 in a bag of trail mix, apparently.
That's what impressed me about it, is that I was watching something and I was actually like, whoa, that was cool, like multiple times. And it was because it was just jumping, it was leaps and bounds ahead of what I was expecting to come out of this, and that's what was so impressive about it. And that's his biggest strength, honestly.
Well, the reason I think I think the digital effects work so well is it's just so seamlessly. It feels like that's the level you would get out of some of the raw power behind some of what's happening on screen. You know, like when he hits the guy with the sword or with the machete or whatever, it's like there is a gash that opens up in his skin, and if I pause on it, it doesn't look great, but just it's not so ridiculous that it looks awful, and it's on screen so short for such a short amount of time it doesn't bother me, and it's a believable injury, right? It just looks like that would be the thing that would happen, so it blends well. Same for a lot of it, just like when I think there are like varying levels of effects. Like my favorite digital and practical effect integrated is when he kicks the guy's head against the table to decapitate him or whatever. That I think looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I think the one that is the most problematic is when he breaks the guy's arms. Would you agree with that?
Probably, yeah.
I just think that one looked the most like kind of silly.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too goofy compared to some of like the awesomeness of the other kills.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem. And like I just, I watched it the second time and I could tell that the actor playing T'Challa wasn't actually holding anything when he broke the guy's arms. He just kind of like, okay, his arms are going to be here and here, so just, act like you're letting go of arms right there. And so it lost some of the kinetic feel that a lot of this had. As far as the fight choreography itself goes, though, I do think it is all really good, though it kind of has that whole stand around and not do anything that a lot of just action sequences in general have. Where, like, when T'Challa's fighting the really big guy that's actually from Wakanda, it's very obvious that he is moving faster than anyone else can, keep up with. And that's really cool. But then he, like, knocks the guy down, and the guy takes time to get back up. So, and he just stands there and lets him do it. So clearly he's not moving faster than anyone else can comprehend at that point. And there are still other guys, including the dude with the beard that was on the bad guys team.
Yeah.
Including him. They're all still fine. Like, there are several people that haven't even been attacked yet. And so they just, like, kind of, in the context of the scene, they just kind of stood there and let him do it.
Yeah.
And that's a little weird. Especially because the guy that T'Challa's fighting at that moment, they don't really have any loyalty to. So I have a hard time believing that they wouldn't just spray bullets in that direction.
Mm.
And not that T'Challa wouldn't be able to, like, dodge those or whatever in scene. So, like, you could have added something like that. I just felt like it's just one of those things they didn't really think about the full context of the scenario.
No, yeah, that's fair.
It's weird because I feel like I'm being really negative on this, but I really, really liked it. I watched it and I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. I had a really good time watching this. Let me ask you this, Resco. How much Black Panther have you seen, read, whatever?
The only thing the only history I have with Black Panther at all is anything Black Panther related to Fantastic Four.
Okay, that and Civil War.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, besides Civil War. The only thing I know Black Panther from is Fantastic Four.
Okay. How did you feel about him killing?
I don't know. I don't even know enough about Black Panther to know if there's a problem that I should have with that.
I mean, it's interesting. I've been reading through the comics, and there's a crossover he has with the X-Men, and he's like, man, I should have killed him when I had the chance. And they're like, you'd act as judge, jury, and executioner? I'm king. It's my right. And I'm like...
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a really good point. He can certainly kill at his discretion, especially, his own citizens that broke his laws. He has the right to decide, as far as, his laws go, he has the right to decide whether or not or how, the manner in which they should be punished for breaking those laws, that is logically consistent, and, you wouldn't really hold it against too many other nations for doing something like that. It's just heightened with superheroes and all that. I just don't know how I felt about, how damn brutally and just without any sense of mercy that he went after everybody here.
Yeah.
'Cause he's still a king. He's still supposed to be this, really enlightened guy. And this is just, a blood rage. I get it. They stole from Wakanda, and Wakandans take that shit very seriously. But, damn. That was harsh as shit. And I don't know how much or how comfortable I feel with that side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And it does kind of make me, wonder... You watched after the credits for this, or no?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Okay, so Storm shows up at the after credits scene, and, even then, T'Challa is, he's straddling the last guy, and just with his fingers is, stabbing into the guy's body over and over and over again. And then, Storm shows up outside and just T'Challa, how you have fallen.
Damn.
And he's like, I'm ready to die. As he, basically is getting ready to fight the X-Men, apparently. And so, there certainly could be a character arc here where he's realizing that he's been too violent, maybe, or he's kind of going too far over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that there's enough just in here to really sell that, and I don't know if I buy it, but it seems like there's enough here. Or there's not enough here, but there's enough to do something with later on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was a little on the fence about that one. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Yeah, I wish I'd stayed through the credits.
It's a Marvel thing. You have to stay through the credits.
Oh man, what am I, some sort of Marvel noob, dude? Oh god, dude. What? It's like I've never seen a fan film before.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. I really enjoyed this watching it, but the more I talk about it, the more I kind of wonder about it. It's undeniably cool, but it's certainly got a fair amount of problems, and I don't know what to make of them.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. If nothing, it's cool. That's what I think is cool about this fan film. It's just cool. It's got more than I was expecting it to have. I don't love it. It's not one of my favorites, but there are some really impressive achievements here that I think are really cool.
Yeah, and they've made a sequel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's 20 minutes long, and there's even news broadcasts that lead up to it, kind of thing. They do fake news broadcasts, and so I'm really curious to watch that because, watching this, I think the biggest problem is kind of more related to the story and the character, but I don't particularly feel too bothered by that because I feel the main focus here was the fighting and the action. just to prove that Black Panther's undeniably cool. But, like, I watched the behind-the-scenes stuff, and they say that what they care more about is the story and the character. And I'm like, maybe you think that, but I don't know if you really delivered that. But it does make me wonder, like, what their sequel is like, and I'll have to watch that. I don't know if I'll pick it again or what, but I will have to check that out at some point. I don't know. I've got complicated feelings on this one.
Yeah.
You take us somewhere, Rasco.
Did you see the moment where, okay, one thing I always think is really cool, and this is like, you can't really plan for this is always like an accident, but one thing I thought was cool, there's a moment in this fan film where, like, I forget exactly what happens, but, like, it's clear that somebody can actually do flips and kicks, and I'm, like, there's a moment where, like, the guy playing Black Panther actually does, like a flip and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that is always so cool in fan films when people can actually do it, and, like, you can't plan for that, but it is always, like, extra awesome whenever you see it happen, when someone, like, actually has some cool acrobatic ability.
Yeah, like, I love where he goes from on the ground with his hands tied to, like, doing the flip to get his hands free.
Yeah.
That was really... And he, like, kicks a guy while he's doing it, which was especially awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, the fight choreography is the greatest part. And, like, for as much as I say some of the dialogue's a problem, there's still some really kick-ass lines and really smart dialogue in here. It's a bit of a mixed bag. And it makes me wonder if I'm just missing something with, like, the proverb. But, like, I love the moment where the guy's about to take the dude's mask off and, you know, look at him because he's saying these Wakandan proverbs and he's wondering who's under there. And he just tells him, "You do not want me to see your face." That was so badass.
Yeah.
T'Challa is really good about those just really snappy one-liners.
Yeah.
I was talking about this with Steve, but I was reading X-Men House of M Black Panther story where, like, Magneto sends Sabretooth to go kill Black Panther, and he's in his throne room with a gun waiting to kill Black Panther. Black Panther just, like, picks up a gun and, like, turns it over his shoulder and shoots Sabretooth, like, right in the arm. And Sabretooth's like, "I can't believe you shot me." And he goes, "Why not? I'm a good shot." So, like, Black Panther's just got stuff like that. And it is really cool to see, you know, this, just how angry he is that his own people have kind of betrayed him in this way. And so I that's kind of why I'm leaning towards buying the level of violence. And, like, it's neat where he's like, "I'm the Black Panther." It's always really cool to see. And then there's some other dialogue from just the other characters that I thought was kind of interesting, where they're like, you have the white guy say, "I'm just rattling your chains." And one of the Wakandan guys goes, "Our people have never been in chains," because Wakanda's like this nation that had never been conquered, and that's unique and interesting. And, like, yeah, that was pretty cool. That's a nice little nod. And then there's, like, that moment where the bearded guy that's with the bad guys is, like, talking crap about Wakanda, and one of the brothers goes, "No wonder their ancestors sold them on the Ivory Coast." I'm like, oof, ouch.
Damn.
There's, like, some superiority stuff going on here too. That's like a really harsh dig, and I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. There's some snappy dialogue, and then there's, like, some dialogue that I don't think quite adds up. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Yeah. I'm a bit all over the place on this. I don't know how I feel. It's like I talked about a lot of the problems. The more I think about the problems, I'm like, is it really? Or is it just, like, an isolated moment? It's hard to tell. We don't talk about this a lot, but how'd you feel about the location for this one?
Oh, I thought it worked. I don't know. It's one of those things where I feel like maybe if we saw the outside more, it wouldn't look quite as good. But I don't know. Something about there's just a lot of wood interior. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, and it's just like clearly in the middle of some kind of foliage. They're supposed to be in South Africa.
Yeah.
I know they're not actually in South Africa. They're in some woods somewhere here in America. And obviously African jungle isn't American forest. But, I was surprised how, just keeping it all in the background, you couldn't really tell. So that was a nice little touch added to it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm running out of stuff to say about this one. You want to go ahead and go on to ratings then?
Yeah, sure. I don't really have much to say about it, honestly, either.
Yeah, it's a short one. But I don't know. I was pretty happy with it overall. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this 3.5 out of 5 smuggled vibranium suitcases.
I will give this 3 out of 5 weird arms that are broken upwards. Just crazy broken arms. That's what I'm giving it. 3 crazy broken arms out of 5.
Okay. Well, that was a fun one. Rasco, what are we going to be talking about next time?
Well, Ian, I'm really glad that you asked me because right now I'm just on top of it. I'm so prepared.
I can tell.
Yeah. Not really, but I don't know. Do you have something to say, Holy, really quick while I continue?
Oh, it's magic. I was really glad that this Black Panther fan film actually ended up being pretty good because, I was trying to find one, and there's, a lot that look really bad. And so I was pretty happy with this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about the actor that played Black Panther, but I thought he was really, really solid in the role. He looks so damn angry and intimidating. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, wow. I found a Teen Titans fan film.
Oh, good.
This could be interesting. It's called Fan Film Teen Titans Birthright.
Okay. Here goes. Alright, everyone. Thanks very much for watching. Please join us next time as we discuss Teen Titans Birthright. Until then, I'm the Philosopher.
And I'm the Beta Male Cuck.
And we are your Geeky Gentlemen. And we will be discussing things.